All right. Welcome to the weekly SIG Autoscaling meeting on the 25th of September 2025. Have quite a few items on the agenda. Let's start with the first one. NDIX, are you here?
Hi.
Hello.
So I work for SIG and I am working on this feature called pod level resources. In the last cycle, we had discussed supporting pod level resources in cluster autoscaler and VPA. So we found out that even with cluster autoscaler, which I think for which the support was added, but it still doesn't work with pod level resources. And there is also this issue for VPA to support pod level resources. So I'm trying to see if I could get some help on these issues.
For the cluster autoscaler side, I am pretty sure that cluster autoscaler supports pod level resources in that it calculates them correctly when deciding on like scale down, scale up. But there is no like, I remember there was some potential for integrating with VPA via this mechanism, and this didn't happen.
Okay.
In any case, do we have anyone who has already worked on this? I saw some familiar faces on the issue.
So I see for the VPA, Eric Zelensky, I think is how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Has assigned it to themselves. But 2 weeks ago, but I haven't seen if there's been any activity yet. There's no pull request for an AP yet.
Yes.
So we could potentially ping the issue and see if Eric is still working on it. Should I do that?
Okay, so basically there is someone who volunteered to pick this up and we haven't heard from them yet, and we need to ping them, right? Do I get that correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'll message them now and ask them if they're still working on it. Is that okay?
Okay.
I guess how badly is the clock ticking on this one? Like, is this one of those where it'll potentially block pod level resources, or like is that like we need to hurry up, or is that like oh, it's okay, we still got a little time?
I don't think this would even be bound by the like Kubernetes release cycle. If this is all like within VPA and CA and just requires an AEP and doesn't like cross cut into a cap, then I think, and if I remember correctly, the pod level resources are GA already, or at least beta, right?
Yeah, pod level resources are beta.
Beta, yeah. And so does the integration that you're talking about depend on any new features? Or do any new features depend on the integration? Rather, that's more important. Is there any like time pressure or any, or is it just?
So the integration with VPA is a GA blocker. So as soon as we get this done, it's only then that we can GA.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. In this
So we are,
case,
so we are okay to not GA in 135, but we definitely want to GA the feature in 136.
I see. Okay.
Someone
So
should
we
work.
basically, the clock is ticking and it's like 2 releases away, right? Because yeah, like catching this like 135, that would have to be a very intense effort, I think, at this point. Like I don't know how involved this feature is, but we need the proposal, we need to review it, agree on it, and then start the implementation, and only then, as I understand, can we like move the cap to beta to GA, right? So 136 is definitely realistic, And yeah, I think like the best course of action right now is following up with the person on the issue. And if they're not like I don't know what, how they see the time pressure, right? Like you will need to align on when they plan to deliver it. If that plan is earlier than what you need, then we need to change something. Does it make sense?
Okay, so should I uh, should I keep an eye on that bug and then
I would ping the person who volunteered to pick it up, ask them how far along they are, and especially like what is the timeline for actually delivering it in their opinion, and then we can start from that.
okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you. Next one, Elmiko. This is the same one as last week, right?
Yes, I wanted to follow up because I looked into so for context, the problem here is that there is an issue in the cluster autoscaler with the cluster right now with the cluster API provider. And the problem is that when the cluster autoscaler wants to delete a node, there are some actions that it takes before it actually requests the provider to reduce the target size. And so one of the approaches that we took to solving this was to add a new interface function so that, essentially in the scale down pre-processing, it could ask the provider, is this a good candidate for scale down? That works, and we've proven that it actually is a solution. But in discussion, there were concerns that adding a new interface method makes this more complicated, makes the interface more complicated, touches a lot of code, and this is something new to think about. So after discussion here about the custom processors and everything, I looked into what it would take to kind of inject a custom processor or something like that. And I think unless I'm missing something in the code, I think I still need to propose a change that in right now we pass in just the auto scaling options when we build a new provider. I think we should actually define define a different struct that we pass in so that we can pass in more information. And what I want to do to begin with is I want to pass in the auto scaling options, and then I want to provide a method on that structure that allows a user to get the scale down processors so that the provider, when it gets set up, could inject custom scale down processors. And then in the future, if we want to, if we need to, we could expand that interface to allow the provider to get other processors so that it could register those as well.
Yeah,
If that
I
sounds like a better approach,
yeah, definitely, 100%. I guess this is all under the requirement that you don't want to fork, right?
right? Yeah,
Uh,
we
mhm,
would prefer to
mhm,
improve the upstream code. Yeah.
mhm. Right. There was one more thing. Like I thought about this for a bit today, and one more thing came to mind. We already sort of have a scale down processor that could work for you, as long as you can annotate the nodes. Like if your cloud provider code, when doing the upgrade, right, it knows which nodes shouldn't be deleted. There is this scale down disabled annotation that CA respects. If the cloud provider could, at the time of upgrade, annotate the nodes with this annotation, that would work out of the box. So one more solution to keep in mind. Maybe that could work for you. But I definitely like uh, the adding the ability to cloud provider to influence which processors are in effect. That is
Yeah.
a
I
good
think it's
middle ground, I think.
right. Yeah, I think in the future it could be really powerful if providers are able to inject more custom processes. I'm going to put together that other patch and then I'll bring it back here to show and we can
Perfect.
talk about the two then. I think probably I would prefer to inject the processor if it works the same rather
Yeah,
than
me too, for sure.
Okay. All right, this is great. And I don't think the annotation or the label is something that the cluster API community wants because that means the
Mhm.
controllers now have to add an annotation while they're doing the upgrade and then remove it. But
Sure.
it's good to keep that in mind. So yeah, thank
Mhm.
you. I think that's good. I'm good on that. If anyone else has suggestions?
All right. Great. Adrian?
Hi. I forget what these are. There's two caps that are needing pull request review. So it's the HPA, sorry, it is the scale from 0 for the HPA. So the cap's in good shape. Jack has looked at it, but we need a leads opt-in and a milestone set. Actually, this is just the pull request. So this needs to be approved and then the production readiness review. Then the second one is the custom tolerances for Jean-Marc. We need review and approval there as well. So that is the first bullet point I made. And then the last three are just the 3 in-flight caps that need lead opt-in plus the milestone added for 1.35, assuming we're targeting 135 for all of them. And it's those 2 that I mentioned plus HPA selection strategy that myself and Omar are working on.
Jack can definitely give the lead review or opted-in label. Jack, do you think you have enough information to do that, or do you need a review from another lead?
Yes, I can commit to doing that. Adrian, are you going to be doing the implementation work for the 135 cycle?
For which caps?
For the 2 HPA caps?
No. So Jean-Marc is working on configurable tolerances. I forget his name. Johannes, I think, is working on scale to 0.
Okay, cool. So you're just doing some wrangling.
I'm just what?
You're just doing some wrangling to, yeah. Thanks for tracking
Yes. Yeah. I'm just trying to get these past the finish line.
For the cap for configurable tolerance, it's just changing the target milestone from 1.34 to 1.35, so it should be trivial.
And it's graduating to beta?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you much.
Okay, so Jack, I take it you'll take care of these, and if you need anything from me on them, just ping me.
Sounds great. So Adrian, yeah, reach out to me, bug me if you don't hear from me.
Cool.
Right, next. Kamarab, are you here?
Yeah, so yeah, I've been working on the CPU startup boost feature, and yeah, we refined the cap with the help of Adrian and Omer. But yeah, right now, like there is one PR pending. Like basically, we're pushing it to experimental branch. So yeah, if anyone is has capacity to like review the PRs, yeah, it would be great. Yeah.
If you want as well, if you are ready for review, you don't necessarily need to wait for this meeting. If you ping myself and Omar, we can also take a look. I think we have looked at a little bit of this one, but it's, you know, gets lost in a whole bunch of other emails. So you're welcome to just give us a ping if you need more
Yes.
review.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, sounds like we have the reviewers, which is great. Which leaves us with the last one. Omar?
Yeah, so we started to work on a Helm chart for the VPA, and we need a poll label. And I'm not sure how to create this one. Maybe some of you know.
I can do that.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm able to do that. Let me take this one.
Thank you.
I think this is just like a repo setting, and I should have the rights.
I forget if it's a repo setting or if you need to go and make a change in some YAML config somewhere. I looked around and I couldn't find anything.
I definitely added a label that we label our issues with for like core CA. So if it's just making the label available in our repo, I think I should be able to do it. If not, I'll follow up on the other place. Okay. So that is it from the agenda. Do we have anything else from the call? Okay, maybe a small heads up from me there, just a teaser, especially probably important for Jonathan. We are planning on extending the cluster resource limits concept in Cluster Autoscaler. Like right now, Cluster Autoscaler has allows the cloud provider to configure resource limits that are then checked cluster wide, like CPU and memory, GPUs. So this is only like a global limit on the cluster, and we have some requirements from our customers to have more granular limits, like for example a CPU or memory limit for only some subset of nodes chosen via a node selector. And that would ideally probably be a new CRD in the autoscaling API group. So there is a proposal that will be coming out in the next few weeks. Just a heads up. If you already have some thoughts on this or comments in the same similar space, let me know. If not, we'll just revisit when we actually have the proposal. Nico?
Yeah, I'm happy to hear this and really curious as well. We also have users who have been asking us for things like how to exclude the control plane and whatnot. So yeah, like when you end up putting the enhancement up or the docs or whatever, like I'd love to take a look at the pull request.
Yeah, it will definitely be brought up here during this meeting. I just wanted to do a quick heads up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much.
And that's it. So in case, unless there's anything else, no, okay. Thank you all and see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye.